Hey guys, what's going on? 5869 here with episode 2 of the replay analysis, and we're back with our boy Drewbie here. He's going to be on the SF, I imagine, mid lane, and already I see it's probably going to be a pretty hard game. They do end up winning, but they're behind essentially the entire game. They only lose, I think, one melee racks mid, but they're behind the entire game. I can see why, because they're I think he's probably somewhere around 2.5, 2.8. If you're any higher, Drewbie, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get down on you there, but I think he's somewhere around that, and he is playing against like Bloodseeker, Zeus, Undying, Huskar, which are all pretty pub stompy heroes here. So item build not too bad early on. He's gonna have a hard time against the Huskar up until probably like level 4 when he can just spam down the creep waves here. So I don't mind that. A little bit of regen as well as the Wraith Band. We are going to be watching it from his perspective this entire game. So not doing too poorly here, CSing quite well. I'm not really going to come down on him for CSing. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, I don't really like talking about, oh, CS this, CS that, whatever. Probably could have killed him there, but that's no big deal. Still not doing too poorly. Should probably start regenning up, especially against the Huskar. So does die to the Huskar. Should have just turned around immediately and tangoed, because the Huskar really, his damage like piles up a lot faster than you'd expect. So unfortunately does go down there. You really want to stay as high as possible when you're against a Huskar. Even if you trade with them, usually you'll end up dying if you're not at like full or like pretty high above half HP. Just because of Flaming Spear is going to be doing a lot of damage, especially to a Shadowfiend. So TP's in. Going to be grabbing his bottle here, I imagine. Not doing too poorly just yet. At about level 5 now. So does get ganked there. Does manage to get 2 heroes there, actually. What happened there? Should probably slow that down a little bit. So looks like the Shadowfiend is coming up. A little bit of an odd ward right here. No ward top lane either for him, unfortunately. But it's just going to turn around. Huskar starting to feed him quite a bit. And not really much he can do about it here. The Shadow Demon shows up and actually saves his life a little bit and probably messes up that gank. Could have turned around and raised twice there and might have been able to survive. Probably not though. So does manage to actually get 2 there. It was pretty nice. Nice little turnaround there. Probably should grab his boots next. Grabs a ward. Look at that. What a fantastic decision that is. There are a lot of players who won't do that, so I will already commend you for that one. So buys a ward. I was saying last game he probably should have bought wards. Axe is running in. I don't know if this Huskar is even paying attention. Gets a nice little call. Huskar is going to go down. So nice little pick there. He's going to regen up. Drop the ward, I imagine. So there's the ward going down. And it's looking pretty good so far. So he's getting his CS. Clicking on other heroes around the map, it looks like. So that's nice, paying attention to the items. Maybe around 3k actually, now that I think about it. I'd say maybe 3.2k MMR. That's what I'm gonna go for. Drewbie, say something in the comments. I'm really curious. There's a few people who submitted replays, didn't really say their MMR, which I have no problem with. I'll try to make a guess. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. Pauses up here. And we'll see. So I think the one thing maybe that I'll watch for here is if when the lanes are pushed, if he's stacking. So he's pushing it up, and is it going to stack? No, finds a Shadow Demon there though, so that was very scary. Potentially could have had a problem there. Could be stacking with the illusions. Not really doing too much. Missing out on some CS, which is a little bit important. Just looking for the runes though. Gonna grab that bot DD. No, the Bloodseeker's just gonna come in and swoop it, and gonna just return back into the lane. So not doing too bad. Looks like he is gonna go down. Does get ganked here. Should probably just turn around and raise. Whenever there's this many heroes around you, just output whatever damage you can and hope that the tower turns it around. Honestly, 2 raises on that Shadow Demon would probably be enough to kill him, but that's no big deal. Yeah, he's only got like 600 HP. Probably could have killed him if you would have turned around and got a couple of raises, but that's just some decision-making stuff you'll learn as time goes on. Gets the full wand. I've got no problems with that. Goes bot lane, just starting to pressure that out. So that was kind of a mistake in my opinion here. So we'll just go back a little bit here. So he goes bottom lane, TP's bottom lane, and we'll see what this Undying's at when he TP's here. So Undying's kind of right there. He TP's. The Witch Doctor is there. The Undying's at about half HP and he TP's down. So this may seem like a good decision, especially because the Shadow Demon's there. But you're TPing to this lane, this guy is already going to die right now. Meanwhile, your mid lane, your axe is dying. I mean, there's no stacks here, so there's not like you could have been doing those stacks, but you're missing out a lot. You probably should have just told the axe to go back in the jungle, and he actually gets that kill there, so that's pretty funny. But you don't really get much there. Who gets the kill? The Phoenix got the kill, and now you're just kind of sitting in this lane with 3 heroes. You do get some CS here, but now you guys are all just kind of trading up. You get healed a little bit, you bottle up. Now you're kind of in this bot lane, which isn't too bad, thankfully, but you do kind of waste a lot, because you waste 100 gold on that TP. You make it up in maybe the assist and the CS, which isn't bad. But again, this mid lane's free. You could probably be around this mid lane, getting the CS, as well as stacking the jungle, instead of just kind of sitting in this bot lane, kind of at low HP. Now you're running towards the rune. Gonna grab the rune. Gonna go back to the mid lane now, so that's not bad. Just missing out on a little bit of CSing and just general, like, farming patterns here. And is this a TP top? Where is this TP to? No, canceled the TP accidentally, so that's unfortunate. Probably should have done it no matter what. Yeah, because there's 4 heroes top lane, and this is when you should be pushing incredibly hard, and that's what you do, so good job there. Get TP'd on, unfortunately. You don't die though, so that's good. You got your treads now, and this is when you should really start farming up like crazy. Not leading the last hits, unfortunately, but that's no big deal. Bloodseeker's right behind you. You should just turn around and right click him. We'll do that. Okay, so that's good. You run away and you just die anyways, which is unfortunate. Probably should have just turned around and right clicked him there. Stood your ground. That's no big deal though. Go back to player perspective here. Just kind of watch what you're doing. Go to the bot lane, finding some farm. So that's nice. Finding an empty lane here. Pressuring the tower. Finding more farm. Getting the souls. Get a little bit scared, which I totally understand. Just going to wait it out a little bit. TP. So that's unfortunate. You probably should have just ran straight home, but I do get that. They could have cut you off there. So that's probably the best decision you could have gone there. So you're doing a pretty good job of split pushing and farming here. You are going to get some nice CS. Right clicking down some creeps. We'll see what your first item choice is going to be here. You go bot. Not really sure why, because the team fight's already over. And the Phoenix is here kind of trading CS with you. So you go bot, try to push that out a little bit. So the biggest thing I can see so far is that you're not really using your jungle. I know, you know, you didn't have support stack it for you, but there's probably a couple opportunities that you had to stack it there. So unfortunately, no stacks in the jungle. Not really using the jungle. Probably should live here. Looks like you will. So you will live there. And then you turn around, which isn't a big deal. But now everybody's here. You should probably just run. And a little bit of a poor decision there. Won't get a single kill, unfortunately. Armlet toggle really strong. But right when you see that blood rate go down, you just have to leave. That's it. That's pretty much it. You're going to die. Especially when the Huskar's there. He's not going to be taking much magical damage. That team fight was essentially over. I guess there wasn't too much you could have done there, but probably could have ran away right away, but that's alright. No big deals there. Going to be moving into the jungle, I assume now. No, the axe is taking it, unfortunately, so you move back into lane, which isn't bad. And run out of the blood right, yeah, but it looks like you're probably going to go down anyways. Unfortunately, TP was off cooldown. Already saying good game, that's no fun. Not really clicking on the other heroes to check their items, which is pretty important. The item choice, yeah, it's not that bad. I imagine, yeah, you're going for a BKB here, so it's not all that bad. The only thing is, they've got not a lot that can go through BKB, but they'll still be able to output a lot of damage. So, nice couple kills here. The cask as well as the death ward doing mad work. You guys get a little bit scared here. Probably could just keep fighting it. It looks like you go down. A little bit of poor positioning there. So we'll go back to this fight, try to break it down a little bit here. So there's still, what, 3 heroes alive when this happens. So you have no drow. There's 3 heroes alive. It seems like it could be a good fight, but you've got no death ward, and I don't think you've got a cask. You don't. So right when the Undying TP's in, and you should recognize right now your axe is gone, and nobody's really helping you right click down that tombstone, and that's pretty much it. You have to be very aware wherever you are when you're playing against a Bloodseeker. You have to be aware of, if I get ruptured, am I gonna die? And with no TP as well as the Undying here, the answer is yes. And you should also be kind of understanding in your mind why is this Undying going so aggressive right now? Because there's absolutely no reason that Undying goes up there alone. And if he's not alone, the Bloodseeker is most likely with him. You should see that the Huskar is top lane, but the Bloodseeker's there, and that's pretty much the end of your life, as well as I think they clean up these other 2 heroes as well. So you should be aware that the Bloodseeker's there, and unfortunately not really paying too much attention to stuff like that, which does cause you to die. Pushing out this lane. Not doing too bad anymore here. They do get Roshan, I think. Not really too much you could do about that. A nice tombstone placement. And this is another poor decision here. So, I believe they get seen going into Roshan. And the team is super split up. Your Drow Ranger is running all the way from top lane. Super squishy, I might add. She just goes for a Shadow Blade. You see here, your axe already took like 100 damage. There's a tombstone on the high ground that you probably don't see, but you know there's one around. And everybody is way, way too far. You should just be calling off your team right now saying, guys, get out. There's no way we should be taking this fight. Roshan's probably almost dead. They've got a much better position. They've got the advantage with the tombstone, the advantage with the true sight, or excuse me, with the ward vision. And now they've got the Aegis advantage. And that's it. You guys keep running. It's very split up. They turn around. You guys look like you still want to fight it. There's too many zombies on you to really say no at this point. Bloodseeker's going to rupture you. If you TP out immediately, I think you may be able to get out, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so. I don't even know if you had full souls here. So you've only got 22 souls as well. Especially when the other team's ahead. If your team wants to fight and you don't have full souls, you can just say no. Like 22 souls is really nothing 20 minutes into the game. It's not a lot of damage. It's not going to help you with too much. So unfortunately no souls, and just an all-around poor team fight there. Everybody was very split up. So a little bit unfortunate there. Go back mid lane. I don't know what the heck is going on. There we go. So another death. I'm going to break that down again. Not really paying attention there. I thought I was on player perspective. So we'll watch your player perspective again here. Just jump back a little bit more. So mid lane. 14 souls here. Still working on that BKB. They do get the Aegis over here from the Bloodseeker. But at this point, I would still be pretty afraid here, as the rest of his team hasn't really shown yet, and you know they're all going to come up from behind him. Deathlord's going to get thrown down. Bloodseeker's going to go down. Looks like this is an easily won fight, though, so a nice fight there, actually. Bloodseeker buys back, though, and now he's just kind of doing Bloodseeker things. Looks like he is going to kill you. So, yeah, you are going to go down. The axe isn't going to die. Buyback. Not really necessary, in all honesty. It does end up working out. You don't get the kill, though, which is pretty huge. But you do have essentially the same gold, so not a big deal there. Didn't lose much. The other thing is farming for the next little bit is going to be pretty slow here and there, so do get the buyback, pretty much getting the BKB. It's still very early on. It's only like 23. I mean, it's not super early, but definitely worse than the average, but it could be a lot worse this game. So they're starting to pressure you again. You bought the BKB. Good call, just waiting for that pretty much. And now we're just going for it. So there we go. Looks like they are going to fight it. You get your BKB. Positioning's not that bad. Heal from the Undying. The blink call from the axe. Does miss the Bloodseeker. Going anyways. No Death Ward because Jordan gets silenced here. You still got the Requiem and the BKB that you're holding on to. You do use the BKB and the Requiem there. You're still alive. Should be dead in all honesty, but a little bit of poor focusing from the other team. It's going to ensure that you're still alive. So at this point it starts to turn now. Your team is starting to take it yet again. They're just kind of throwing themselves at you. Not too bad. It looks like you're going for S and Y. I'm okay with that. I do think that Blink is a really, really solid item here. If the Axe Blink calls at least 2 heroes and you follow up with a Blink BKB Requiem, that's the team fight. That's unless it's only the Zeus and the Shadow Demon, in which case it's probably still the team fight. Realistically, that is like such an easily won team fight. I know it feels kind of like you're hoping that the Axe gets something, but it's really not that hard. Sometimes you do have to believe in your teammates. A nice little TP out, do survive. So good call there. Are aware of the rupture. Do have a TP on you. You should probably be buying 2 just because you're against a Bloodseeker, although you just TP'd home, so it's not that big of a deal if you get one outside at the side shop. I'm okay with that. So you start pressuring bot lane, another fight, which I was not ready for, in which you die. So let's see what happens here. Full souls, 1,300 gold, 1,400 gold. Do you BKB? So, right there, that's it. That's it. No BKB. And he's got a blade mail on. That is the exact moment in which the team fight gets lost. And to top it all off, your Requiem killed that creep, so it did a ton of pure damage to you. A pretty big blunder in my opinion. That's more of a mechanical thing, but something you really have to pay attention to. If you bought the BKB, you have to put it to use, and this is most likely where they get the racks. And it looks like no, they didn't get the racks yet. Still just watch your perspective. Watch that kill. Grab the Yasha. Go bot to push it out. Some nice farm there. Not doing too bad. Do grab a TP. Probably should buy 2 TPs there, but that's fine. Running all the way home. A little bit afraid. Yeah, no vision. Should probably be yelling at your supports to buy wards. If not, you should, especially when the game is this close. You don't want to lose because the whole team is up here. You have an idea of where the Huskar is, and that's it. If there's 3 heroes sitting right there, you probably would have just gotten blown up, the tombstone, everything. Maybe you could have survived because they've got the supernova mech, but that was definitely pretty sketchy. I'm not sure if you guys saw the Huskar right when you started walking up there or not. Yeah, so maybe if you saw the Huskar on the map, it was alright. But I'm not sure if anybody looked at the map, but if not, that's definitely pretty scary here. So it looks like you get another couple pickoffs, go for Roshan, and lose another, no, actually not lose a team fight, but you go down there again, and is it because of the BKB? So let's speed this up a little bit, get Roshan. Actually, no, don't get Roshan. Wait, do you get it? Yeah, okay, so you finish it, Drow gets it, and Bloodseeker goes on you. Okay, so not really much you could have done there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. So the blade mail actually is how you die. Okay. So, again, if you just would have popped the BKB, you would have been fine, most likely, because the blade mail did end up killing you. You do trade, but there's really no reason you have to trade there, in all honesty. If you are going to go for the S&Y here, you probably could just get the Sage first, since you're going to be right-clicking hard enough anyways with your full souls. Probably could have just gotten the Sage first. Helped you out a little bit in terms of survival against that Bloodseeker. And we'll just watch the next fight. No, I'm trying to watch this. Okay, he's just clicking on heroes. Okay, so doing a good job clicking around. That's always good. Checking like the enemy's items and stuff like that. Has the shop open. Not sure. Okay, so you're going for an AC now. Not the worst. I think if you're going S and Y, you almost always want to follow it up with Scotty and just go full stats build. Just to really ensure that you get the most out of your stats. Do you BKB and Requiem here? You've only got 20 souls. Probably don't need to. There's the BKB. There's the Requiem to at least reduce the damage. And that's pretty huge. Okay, so that's nice. You guys end up cleaning up this team fight. That's pretty solid. From there, where do you guys go? So just pushing out the lanes together. So right now, just go in the jungle. There's no reason that you have to be in the lane. The Draw Ranger's in the lane. She could probably be in the jungle right now. But just being a little bit more efficient right now by taking these 3 camps would be huge. Let the Drow have the lane farm. You take the camps. And just be as efficient as possible with your team here. So you're not going to get this tower because you already see the Bloodseeker's up. These 2 heroes are going to be up in 9 and 8 seconds. They should have a fort. Actually, no, they don't have a fort. But either way, they shouldn't really give up this tower. Does the Bloodseeker have TPs, though? Yes, he's got Boots of Travel in about 10 seconds, so we'll see if this tower... Yeah, okay, so the tower does just go down. They don't even care about it. Bloodseeker doesn't have his TP, unfortunately, so that's probably why they had to give it up. But you probably still could have gone for this jungle farm there while the lane was just pushing out. You're just walking with it. Just trying to be as efficient as possible with your movements. So we'll kind of take a look here. Getting more farm. Doing a pretty good job of finding your farm wherever you have to. Pretty standard game, honestly. Not really much to say about it. Just keep going here, hitting the tower. Should probably be at your base. I really don't think this trade's worth it, even though they're ahead. Let's see what happens here. Although I do know they only get the one. I'm not sure how they lose that team fight there. It looks like they get the double buyback, and there you go. You get the triple kill. You do end up going down. Let's see what happens there. So you get that Rax right when you see that they don't get your Rax. That's it. Get out. Like, they didn't double Rax you. That's enough. You guys got bot Rax. There's no reason you should go mid. And I mean, realistically, yeah, sure, you see that the Bloodseeker's dead. He does buy back, so there's not really much you could have done about that one. Probably could have just BKB TP'd here. So if you is it really just some right? Could have just TP'd out, I imagine. Yeah, so had plenty of time to just TP out. Didn't have to die there. Try to TP out after, but it's too late at that point. The Draw Ranger's trying to do whatever she can. She's just going to get absolutely crushed as well. Should have just BKB TP'd. Requiem wasn't going to be that effective. Let's see. Did you have full souls? You should have had full souls, actually. So it could... Oh, no, you only had 18? Or is that just... I think that's the replay just having a laugh. So, fortunately, I don't know. I think you have full souls there. You at least should have. But yeah, I could have just BKB TP'd there. But should have just backed straight up. Realistically, you should have just backed. Probably TP to your top lane. Just started farming your own jungle. Waiting till whatever creep wave to come around mid. Or something like that. You didn't have to go for mid. There was no reason to try and double Rax. The Bloodseeker does die there after buying back, which is cool. Whatever, still looking to get the AC. Not really the best item. I don't think... it is good. I mean, at this point, I think anything you buy is just going to crush them. Just because the Huskar is going to get wrecked. I don't think he's got proper items here whatsoever. Actually, he's got a halberd, so... Could be worse, I guess, here. You BKB a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. You still win the team fight. I wouldn't mind if you had some lifesteal as well. Like, a helm would be pretty solid there. But it doesn't matter. At this point, the game's already over. So it's really not too much to say about this game here. You find your farm well. You guys start founding, diving, yada yada. Creep's still going at it. Game's going to go down. Okay, so a lot faster than the other one. Not much to say about this one. You found your farm, I guess, as best as you could. I'd say try to use the jungle a little bit more. Once you hit about level 4, level 5 on that Shadowfiend, you want to, like, raise the creep wave mid, and then just run straight to stack a camp. Try the large camp at whatever, 53, or the medium camp right beside it at 55 if the large camp isn't there. But just stacking, getting a little bit more out of your lane is pretty important. Item decisions weren't bad at all. You missed BKB'd a few times, but, like, that's just mechanical things you'll get better at. You did end up going pretty well. 233 last hits in 41 minutes. Not the best. You should probably be somewhere around like 350, something like that, at least on a Shadowfiend. 300 maybe. You didn't have a support stacking, so I understand. But you did play pretty well this game. Probably not the best game that I could have gone over because it was really standard, just team fighting back and forth, pushing the lanes. So you did a good job there, pressuring the enemy lanes. You bought a ward really early on, so props to you. If it kept you alive once, twice, got you a kill once, twice, it's already paid for itself. So anybody else that's watching, just buy a ward. If it keeps you alive or gets you a kill, it's so worth it. It's paid for itself tenfold. And thanks again, Drewbie, for sending in these games. Hopefully, obviously the second one wasn't the best. The first one probably could have helped a little bit. But the second one, there wasn't really much. It was kind of... I don't want to say a stomp because the other team was ahead, but it was kind of just poor decision making from the other team, which is kind of why it's hard to do replay analysis at anything under like 4K, but I told myself I would try it anyways just because there's a lot of mistakes that both teams make that usually end up in one team winning or losing. But you played pretty well, did as best as you could. The AC later on really probably wasn't necessary. I think in my opinion I would have followed up with a blink after the BKB. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Or if you were going to go S and Y, probably just go Scotty and be super tanky after that. But the game was pretty much over at that point. Both teams definitely tried to play as best they could. And thanks again, Drewbie, for sending in both these replays. I am off to do the third one, which I have no idea what it is. But if you want to check that one out, hopefully it'll be a lot better than this analysis because it wasn't really that in-depth. But look forward to the other ones, guys. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series From Lane to Lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodobuff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.